looks like. All right, let's start at the beginning. The moon. Now, the moon is our feelings, taking things from the inside, projecting them to the outside. So you may have some artistic endeavor, some writing, something that you've always wanted to do, some creative endeavors, maybe trying a new job, going back to school. But this does look like taking some of your greatest desires and manifesting them from the feeling side or the emotional side, intrinsic side of you, and projecting them out into the world. It does feel like you're getting closer to your path. It does feel like the last year and a half, you might have been thrown off your game a little bit, but you're getting a little more clarity and you're able to see where that path is going. The moon also can stand for mom, so you may be either healing some things with mom, or allowing, or developing a deeper, richer relationship with mom. Also, the moon can be a Pisces card as well. So there may be a Pisces in your life that you are healing some things with or just collaborating with. But it does feel like you're closer and closer to your path. And so it does look like the light at the end of the tunnel is not a train. So very good. Congratulations, Taurus, from getting through all that tumultuous energy for the last 12 to 18 months. So it does look like things are clearing for you a little bit. And what crosses you here, it does look like this can be either a raise, this could be someone honoring you for your participation. Usually this is when you are honored for something, given a raise, acknowledged in the community, held at high regard, and maybe gifted with, key to the city, a raise, something like that. But it does look like, it feels like people are paying attention at work and they are seeing your contributions, even if they don't speak their gratitude to you. They may be showing you a little bit more gratitude recently. But it also feels like you have spoken your truth around a situation that was challenging at work, and that maybe it wasn't well received in the beginning, but now it feels like you're incorporating some changes that you may have suggested into your workplace. The 3 is right here. 3 usually stands for heartbreak of some kind. It is on the line of the lovers. It can be, falsely accused of something, a fight with someone of the heart, but it does feel like it's a love person. It does feel like you have had trouble extricating yourself from either a friendship or a love intimate. And it does feel like it is now you are surrendering to it a little bit more. You may be starting to get ready to open your heart again. If you are in a current relationship, it does feel like some tumultuous changes has happened over the last year, and that you can see the light at the end of the tunnel in this one as well, and that you might have come to an agreement or understanding of one another within that relationship. So this can be within a relationship, it can be releasing a relationship, or just recommitting to a stronger heart connection to yourself. So that does look like something that's been in your awareness for a while and that you have been working on. So it does feel like you're starting to see forward motion in your heart space a little more. The Hierophant is here. This can stand for religion, spirituality, really going inside yourself. It does feel like you have been incorporating a little bit more of your spiritual practice, whether that's yoga, going to church, reading a self-help book, walking in the woods. It doesn't necessarily have to be God related if you are not connected on that God source, but it does feel like something deeper and bigger than you have incorporated into your daily life. And it can be just daily affirmations or holding your vision for what you want to create, but it does feel like you're incorporating it into your daily life a little bit more, that it's just not surface. You're not looking at just surface things, you're looking at the big picture. And it does feel like you've gotten some answers and you have more forward motion in your world these days. The Lovers is here, and this can stand for a Gemini if it isn't a love position. Usually this is the soulmate, so you may be open and ready to receive that soulmate. You may be making a soulmate connection even deeper, resolving things, or just being open and ready to receive your next heart space or your next heart connection. But it does look like your heart took a big hit over the last 1.5 to 2 years, and that you're slowly, steadily healing your heart. You may have connected with people that maybe didn't sing to your heart for a while, but it does look like you have been doing a lot of work on healing yourself and having faith in your choices and your journey. The Lovers also can represent a Gemini. So there may be a Gemini in your world. If this is a Gemini, it does look like your communication has been much more respectful with each other. It hasn't been the banter, kind of the static banter. It does look like you have love and appreciation for one another if there is a Gemini in your world. The Knight of Wands is here in the future position. Knights are all about motion. This Knight is moving backwards a little bit, but it does feel like this Knight stands for good news at work. This can be a positive change. This can be positive activity. It can be travel as well. It usually, Wands ask for motion because they are fire. This can be a fire sign, and Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And this feels like it is right on the line. If it is a person, it does feel like someone who loves you and supports you and may give you a little kick in the tuchus. It does feel like it has something to do with work. So this person may have given you a great pep talk, help you see some things that needed to be shifted or changed. But it does feel like someone who has your best interest at heart. But for the most part, Knights ask for motion. So put a little motion behind those ideas, and you may get some good ideas about work. You may even be getting a raise for speaking your truth and trying to change some dynamics in a positive direction is what I'm feeling. The basis of all this is the 7. This is the 7 of Wands. It does feel like you're a bit backed into a corner. It feels like work related again. It feels like you may be biding your time while you are there. And there's some things that are really unpleasant that you need to speak of. You may have started that communication already. It may, does feel like the month of November, you may be revisiting it, but it does feel like you have gotten backed into a corner in order for you to speak your truth. That you may have let things kind of flow through you or let things go. A little hostility I'm feeling, or a little, someone at work feels like someone is going through something and kind of taking it out on you because you're there. So you may have to set some boundaries very clearly. I believe it will be appreciated, maybe not initially, but it will be appreciated in the long run. The world is right here. This is, everything is open to you. This can be a very lucky time. This is also a completion of a cycle, and it usually is a big cycle. It's not just like completion of a marriage, completion of this. It's usually a completion of a behavior where we attract the same type of people throughout our lives to learn that lesson. So it does feel like you have completed some lessons. It does look like it's something on the heart space. It's like, I'm not going to take this anymore. I don't have to be nasty, but it does feel like you have to speak your truth a little bit more, not let things run amok until they're out of control before you say something, or you're in this awful space where you feel like you've been bullied or beat up or pushed into a corner. So it does look like the world is asking you to speak your truth with love and kindness. Set an example for that hostile person by showing them how to communicate difficult or have difficult conversations. But it does feel like initially it may be rebuked, but it does feel like that some of your ideas will be welcomed a little later on, and setting your boundaries will be respected. It may take 1 or 2 conversations. This does feel work related. It also can be interpersonal as well. The next one is the 4. This is the 4 of Swords, and this is kind of like when things are on your mind so heavy that you can't get sleep, you might be not eating well, you may have very telling dreams. It does feel like you are resolving some of these things one at a time. One of these swords is down here, so it does feel like something has been resolved, but it does feel like something's just hanging over your head that may be job related. It does feel like you want to do a good job, but you don't want to accept hostility from someone, and it also can be interpersonal, can be family related as well. But it does feel like your stomach is taking a hit. You may have an upset stomach, may be manifesting into sore back, headaches, but it does feel like your body's taking a hit with all this stress and tumultuous stuff that you had been dealing with over the last couple of months. It does feel like it will clear. Do not lose your faith in yourself, your abilities, or the situation. And it does feel like a little bit more physical activity will help you approach that slumber. But it does feel like the mind is a little overactive, so it will need some counterbalance of physical activity to kind of calm your mind a little bit and get in the sleep mode. And that can be just walking around the block after dinner or something like that. But incorporate a little physical motion into your world, and it will help shut off that overactive mind at night. You do have the 10 here, and this is the 10 of Cups. This is emotions. This does feel like it has to do with family. It feels like everything is right where it's supposed to be. Things are starting to be a little bit more normal. Status quo is a wonderful thing, but it does feel like you've been able to really resolve things within the family unit, the family dynamics. It feels like everybody is kind of on their way, doing what they need to do, including parents, children, but it does feel like everybody's starting to be in a forward motion now, including yourself. So there may be some celebration for family during the holidays, maybe some impromptu get-togethers, but it does feel like everybody is doing really well in your family. So there's not one person you're worrying more than another. So finally things are starting to resolve. On the left side of this, for clarity, is the 8 of discs. This is collecting information. You may be going back to school. You may be adding to your toolbox, your emotional toolbox, your intellect. But it does look like either you're considering going back to school or you're researching something. Could be researching something on the web, but it does look like you're researching something for either a project, creative endeavor, maybe joining some kind of meditation yoga group, joining an academic group, just getting out of the house, joining a sailing group, some kind of thing like that. But it does look like you're looking for more like-minded people in your community. You may be in a new community and just doing a little research on what is out there for activities and for things in the future. But this card is really about collecting information. It can be higher intellect like a university, or it could be as easy as just going on the web and getting your information. The Knight of Swords is on the other side here. Knights are also, as I said, about action, motion. This sword is about communication, and it does feel like you may have to sit down with someone and have some communication, but this sword does stand for bad news or conflicts, angry messages. This does feel like it has more to do with the workplace, so you may have to sift through some of the anger, resentment, have those tough conversations before you see a resolution in the future. But it does look like it is moving towards resolution. The more you speak your truth with love and kindness, set your boundaries. If it's a bully, the better it will be. But it's right at the top of this, so it looks like it's something that should take place now. No more beating up my sweet Taurus. Have that conversation with love and kindness. Be an example of how to communicate something difficult to the person that doesn't do a good job at communicating. So that's your general reading. I'd like to throw one of these lovers oracles. This one popped out. Let's see what it's doing. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those that you love. So leave the stuff that's superfluous. Leave the stuff that doesn't count in the long run, things you won't take with you, and they lessen their importance in your life, and it will be a lot easier on the road.